Good morning, everyone. We are live again, and today we are going to talk about the immune system again. Why about the immune system? Because it is very important to be well, correctly evaluated before we proceed to healing, before we take any medications, before we get any plan for treatment. In this live, I will be talking about immunostimulations, immunomodulations, how I am evaluating the immune system. But before that, I would like to read you something very quickly from a book which I'm reading currently. It's written by a medical doctor. Her name is Heather Moody. And just to show you how complicated it is to evaluate human being and how this has to be considered by every practitioner, by every doctor, and how the process is so long and complicated because we are different. The way we're different outside, the same way we're different inside in our body. So very quickly about her experience. When I started my career as an allergist and immunologist in private practice, I dutifully tried to best tame the immune system. So she worked with people with asthma, hives, sinusitis, occasionally complicated immune disorder or deficiencies. So the treatments were standard: allergy tests, allergy shots, steroid injections, creams, allergy medications, etc. Most of the time, these methods helped for a while. Now, this becomes very important now. But the patients who were left with a stack of prescriptions almost always came back in 3 to 4 months. As the years went on, I noticed that my patients were collecting new diagnoses, were getting sicker, and were ultimately taking too many medications, many of which were prescribed to help with the side effects from other medications they were taking. And then she continues as well that so I just started asking questions. I inquired about my patients' nutrition, their stress levels, their daily routines, their emotions, their habits, and their sleep. So as you can see, it's not that easy to approach a condition, a disease, even for the doctors who are equipped with so many testing. But yes, still, we have to ask for sleep, we have to ask for stress levels, emotional well-being, and etc. So let me bring you a little bit into the theory of what is immunostimulation, what is immunomodulation, which herbs can we use, and then I will show you my approach. How do I evaluate my clients, what charts do I use, and why this approach is successful. So in general, those two terms I've just mentioned are to describe normalization of the immune system. What is the immune system? Immune system is that what is spread in our digestive system, our lymphatic system, and throughout the body to keep us healthy, to protect us from external invasion, from different infections, and also to help us rebuild and recover at night while we're sleeping. That is why we are asking about the sleep cycles. First of all, immunostimulants. So the immunostimulants represent what is called non-specific stimulation of the immune system or of the immunological defense of your body. Non-specific immunostimulants don't affect the immune system memory cells. This is the difference with the other type. And because their effects fade relatively quickly, they have to be reinstalled periodically. They have to be given continuously to the person because they work all over the body, non-specifically. What I want to stress here now in the summer, it's very important to focus on your healing because we have the sun, and the sun helps for our life force in the body to be elevated. The sun helps to speed up our healing process. So use that time and do anything you can in order to get on the step to healing. So immunostimulation is focused on boosting the body's own immune system. And I would like to say that we use in the holistic healing plant-based immunostimulators that they may contribute even to healing of autoimmune disease. What they do is generally elevate the life force of the body and okay, let me explain this because I mentioned already twice. The life force resides in our blood. The life force is the force that whatever nutrients or part of your pills, particles are in the blood, it delivers to the cell. And it delivers the residues to places where it thinks it's safe for our body. Unfortunately, in the long run, we have the side effects because the residues from the pills that are not assimilated by the body go to our weakest spots and they cause trouble there. But to make sure that life force is really at a top level, we need to work on it. We need to use the sun. We need to approach the immune system to support it. We need to do anything like exercises, hydration, nutrition in order to keep it intact. So what are the other ones, the immunomodulators? The immunomodulators have a potential contribution to make to the therapy of malignant diseases like cancer, for instance. And it is a very well known fact that they can stimulate specific type of cells, like what we call the killer cells that kill and recycle the old cells, and they can inhibit tumor growth. So the immunomodulators act on a deep immune level, so they have a deep immune activation. They are act also on the surface immune activation level, and they have adaptogenic action or hormonal modulation, so they act through the hormones. What is the deep immune activation? The plants impact our immune system within the tissue, within the cell, and this is the deep immune activation. So I want to open brackets here and explain that herbs act as biological whole, not just as vehicle for active ingredients. Herbs find the weakest point and the life force bring them where they are needed. Very often it turns out that we specifically target something, but something else was healed unexpectedly. This is because the body decides, the life force decides where to distribute the herbs. So the immunomodulators are mainly researched in Asia, in India, in Japan, in China, and that's why my resources are from mostly Chinese herbs or Asian herbs. That doesn't mean that we don't have very good herbs, and I'll mention a little bit about that later on. So let me tell you which are the herbs that come from Asia. Astragalus, you can find it everywhere in many shapes and forms. Codonopsis is another herb. Reishi mushroom, shiitake mushroom, privet, schisandra. Those herbs are acting within the tissue at a cellular level. And it is very important to mention that in Western traditions, we have cocktails we offer to patients which are made of alternatives, which are rebuilding tissues and supporting tissues, tonic, which are toning the tissues, or fluids like very famous all over the internet is the cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is a fantastic tonic for the blood. It nourishes the blood and it helps the blood provide the nutrients everywhere to the body. It vitalizes the blood. That's why I suggested you take it every morning with lemon and water, a quarter of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So the surface of the immune activations, there are many plants which are working on the surface of the immune system, and mainly we call them antimicrobials, and they call them also immune boosters. The more attention researchers give to those plants, the greater the range of mechanisms are found to explain their activity. Very often, even the doctors, even for the pills, they say, take this pill. I don't know the mechanism of working, but it's going to help you. It's the same with the herbs. We give the herb for one thing. We know it will help, but sometimes it helps for another thing, or it helps overall, but we don't know. Does it help through the lymphatic system? Does it help through the blood? What is the mechanism of this herb to be delivered to the cell? We don't know. So here I want to give you an example of surface immune activation. And this is, of course, garlic, antimicrobial. This is wild indigo, another herb. Calendula, a beautiful flower. Myrrh. You very often heard about myrrh oil. There are myrrh tinctures. They're very, very efficient for antimicrobial or general immune boosting. Echinacea, thuja. This is spelled Thuja, and osmia, another herb for general boosting, which are represented by the Western world. And here I would like to mention also the hormonal modulators that are working through the adrenals. Remedies in this group, though some hormonal modulations of the immune system respond, a number of endocrine functions can be affected by herbs, and I will mention two of those herbs. One is Siberian ginseng, and then is the Korean and the American ginseng also. They are adaptogens. Here also I would like to mention Vitex, which is hormonal normalizer, and as well as Anna's wild yam cream, which is a hormonal normalizer. Vitex also has the name of chasteberry, and I suggest it to every woman who's going through menopause, every person, not only women, who's going through cancer. The thing is, the Vitex as well as Anna's wild yam cream are normalizing the progesterone estrogen levels in the body, and then that normalizes the testosterone in the human body, men and women. and they are very efficient. Just they have to be used for over 3 months in order to see long-lasting results. Immunostimulation cream can be found on internet, and can be applied anywhere in the body. It's a cream. You apply it at night. You can apply it on the forearm. Next day, apply it, let's say, on the chest. Next day, on the back of the arm or on your thigh, and preferably in the upper body. But you can change the places because the body adapts, and the absorption is not as efficient. So here I would like to show you what is my evaluation. After people are filling out a very multiple questions questionnaire, made a few pages, I am filling out this form. This form shows me different systems of the human body. Like the number one system I evaluate is the gastrointestinal. Why? Because the immune system is presented there. Because the gastrointestinal is the system that takes information from the environment. So we have to have immune cells there, like a first row of defense against pathogens from the environment. What do I evaluate mainly there? This is the colon, the small intestines, the gastrointestinal tract inflammation, and the gastric function overall. In 99% of the cases where there is a condition, disease, that system doesn't work properly. Some of those modules I just mentioned do not work properly. Then, like a part of the gastrointestinal system is, of course, the liver and the gallbladder. As well, they usually have some kind of a problem. I examine that function. Then we go to the endocrine system, because very important, the endocrine system is the hormones that keep the balance of assimilation and transportation of nutrients in our body. Often this system is overloaded, and that's why it doesn't function properly. And then we work on the glucose regulation to see how does that work with the client. Cardiovascular system, why this is important? Because of the transportation of nutrients through the blood to the cells. Then I work on the emotional, on the mood, anxiety, anger, because as you know, probably from the Chinese medicine, a lot of our emotions are trapped in our organs, so we absolutely need to know about it. Then I work on the immune system part that is through the eyes, nose, ears. These are also openings from where we can get infections, pathogens, and etc. Then the throat, the lungs, of course. And then is the musculoskeletal system. Why it's important and why we need to exercise to gain muscle mass. Because the muscle is a natural resource for the immune system when the body is ill. So the body pulls all the time when it's stressed, when it's in a fight and flight mode, the body pulls resources from our protein. It's unfortunate it doesn't pull from the fat, but from the protein. That's why we get weaker when we are sick, because the body is trying to survive us. Then we go to the nervous system. We evaluate the central nervous system, the cognition. Central nervous system supports and controls the entire body, every system in the body. It's very important to be addressed. Does it work properly? Usually no, because like in this case also you'll see this is the central nervous system, and you see how it is in the high. And then on the female and male hormones at the last part of the evaluation. So the chart shows me my priorities when I have to work with the client. I discuss this with the client. I always ask, what is your gut feeling? Because we are our own healer, we are our own guru, and we know the best. When did the condition start? How do I feel exactly? Where is the pain? I can know from the theory that this condition is this happens to the body, but not everybody experiences the condition or disease the same way, because like I said in the beginning, we are different. And the colors you see here are the colors of the chakras. So that gives me an orientation about the emotional world, about the mental state of the client, and also below every system, I have the connection to the spine. For instance, cardiovascular, the heart, the connection to the spine is from the T1 to T5. That means I have to address those vertebrae because if there is a stagnation, when the organ or the system is suffering, there is a stagnation in the muscles that connect that system to the spine, simply explained. Then we have to work on those sections of the spine to release the stagnation, the fascia as well, so the fluids can flow through freely throughout the body, and the muscles can extend and flex and contract freely as well without any problems. Then the body will function at its best. So this is my chat today about the immune system. Remember that this is the most important system to be addressed before you continue with your condition. And if your doctor doesn't, I suggest you should require for him or her to give you an advice about that, or make more tests, or refer you if they do not know how to proceed. If you have any questions, I am available. Thank you for Kelsey to staying with me all that almost half an hour. If you will have questions later on after you watch the video, please just write them below this post or contact me directly so I can see how I can help you. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.
Join our Healthy and Community Facebook group. If you have any questions, please free to comment below. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more.